It's time once again for another thrilling episode of Markout Radio. For the next hour, sit back, pull the stick out of your ass, and enjoy. Be warned though, smarks and internet know-it-alls will be offended, annoyed, and generally pissed off at what's about to happen to your ear holes. You've been warned. Now, Markout Radio.
That's right. Welcome to Markout Radio. We're going Nitro for episode 66.
Time has come. Execute Order 66.
That's right. We're at a 66th episode, the first episode that we are doing on Twitch. Welcome, Twitch folks, streamers, crazy, lunatic wrestling fans. Come on. You know we are. All right. So again, welcome to Twitch. This is episode 66 for December 16, 1996, out of the Pensacola Civic Center, Pensacola, Florida, hosted by Tony Schiavone, Larry Zabisco, Mike Tenay, and Bobby the Brain Heenan. This is the 27th week in a row for Nitro to win the ratings war with a 3.2 to Raw's 2.3. Those of you that are new to the show on Twitch, every week I am counting the episodes of Nitro because I did some counting. And this whole 83 weeks bullshit doesn't hold up. But maybe I'll be proven wrong. I don't know. It's just going to be a really long bit. And at the end of it, if I'm proven wrong, it's going to, well, I mean, it'll be a lot like Eric's whole fucking career. Raw is holding up steady, but just had WWE just had another in-your-house pay-per-view with 5,708 in attendance and no post-pay-per-view bump to the Raw numbers. I couldn't find the attendance numbers for Nitro tonight or the live gate numbers for this episode, which is strange considering it's in Florida. It should be a huge crowd. The seating capacity in the venue is 8,049 for hockey, 10,000 for concerts. So let's assume it's somewhere closer to the hockey numbers since the entrance ramp is effectively staged, as is the ring, eating up a lot of space. Now, back in 1993, WCW hosted Battle Bowl. That's right. I found the theme song for fucking Battle Bowl. Jesus. All right, turn it down before I get in trouble. I don't know what the Twitch rules are, but I know YouTube will definitely flag this shit if we play it for too long without me running my mouth. The pay-per-view itself features Flair, Sting, Cactus Jack. For those of you living under a rock, Cactus Jack is also known as Mick Foley, Mankind, or no, don't, just stop. Ladies and gentlemen, Jesus, I hated that gimmick so much. Jim, our producer, he now no longer is Jim the producer. He's just the producer boy. He now has a name because this whole Twitch thing is his idea. If it doesn't work, then he can just go back to being producer boy, I think. Or I could just plain old fire him, because that's what Vince does, isn't it? Anyways, just turn it down. All right, this pay-per-view also featured a young Steve Austin who still had hair, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Sid Vicious, Rick Rude, and a very baby-faced Dustin Rhodes. But really? I have to... All right. Dustin Rhodes, also known as Gold Dust. Oh, Jesus. You had this ready to go, didn't you? Don't fucking lie. Yeah, I don't know anything about wrestling. We're definitely getting kicked off of YouTube for that shit. All right. Jesus. You know, if you get us banned off of Twitch, I am going to use a sledgehammer in the correct fashion and not the way Triple H uses. Can we go back, thank you, to the Battle Bowl theme? Thank you. Jesus. This concept was a lethal lottery gimmick mixed with a Royal Rumble gimmick. First, and listen, yes, if you're viewing this on the day that I'm recording it, you will know that Royal Rumble's on tonight. No, I didn't do this on purpose. It's just, that's a friendly coincidence. Oh, yay. All right, so let's see here. Now, I know when WCW does this and they mix a whole bunch of gimmicks together, it can get on people's nerves. So let's just sort of explain how things happen. So a lethal lottery, essentially, if you're not a wrestling fan or if it's been a while since you've seen this kind of a gimmick, tag teams are formed using sort of a raffle tumbler kind of thing. Now, this is obviously kayfabe. They would often pair together wrestlers who were in feuds or building to feuds to develop some extra heat. So they'd pair together people that were already fighting one another. Like, for example, they paired together Vader with Cactus Jack, who had just come off of a feud. But of course, because they had just had their blow off, they still hated each other. So it was still a little bit, fucked up. Now, the winning tag teams would then go on to be put into a over-the-top rope rumble match. Now, your announcers for this pay-per-view are Tony Schiavone and Jesse the Body Ventura. Gene Okerlund did the interviews and promos. Mike Capetto was the in-ring announcer, and refs were Randy Anderson and, of course, our boy Nick Patrick. Big Man Vader ended up winning the whole fucking thing. Now, listen. He had been partnered, like I said, with Cactus Jack. No, he was not partnered with Dude Love. Vince would do that. Actually, Vince wouldn't. Well, Vince Russo would do that later. No, just stop, please. Battle Bowl. Thank you. Jesus. Now, you'll remember earlier in 96, you can go, if you're watching this on Twitch, go check out the YouTube archives. You can see or hear all the shows that we've done since this whole gimmick started off. Goes all the way back to the beginning of Nitro. But anyways, earlier this year, DDP was the Battle Bowl winner, and he got a ring. Now, Vader didn't get a ring. With his win, Vader was officially the number one contender for the WCW World title and would challenge Flair at Clash of Champions 25 and lose. Sorry, spoilers. All right. The matches for Battle Bowl 1993 were Vader and Cactus Jack with Harley Race as Vader's ongoing manager, defeating Charlie Norris and Kane. Who exactly? Brian Knobbs. Brian Knobbs. Yeah. Yes, from the Nasty Boys. And Johnny B. Bad with Missy Hyatt was his manager at the time. Missy fucker. Anyways, defeated Eric Watts and Paul Roma. Some of you may know Paul Roma. Eric Watts, more behind the scenes. The Shockmaster and Paul Orndorff defeated Ricky Steamboat and Lord Steven Regal. Oh my God, how did Ricky Steamboat make it on the fucking banner for the pay-per-view, but got fucking beat by the Shockmaster and Mr. Wonderful? All right, anyways. King Kong and Dustin Rhodes defeated the Equalizer and Awesome Kong. This is not Awesome Kong as in the large black woman. This is Awesome Kong. Not even the original. This is like the third iteration. Sting and Jerry Saggs, yeah, that's right, the other part of the Nasty Boys, defeated Missy Hyatt was Jerry Saggs' manager. So figure out how Johnny B. Bad, face, was also being managed by the same woman who managed Brian Knobbs. Jesus Christ, WCW. Awesome. Defeated Ron Simmons, yeah, that's right, Farouk, and Keith Cole. Ric Flair and Steve Austin with Colonel Robert Parker and Fifi, that was the dog. Defeated Too Cold Scorpio, fucking love Too Cold Scorpio, and Max Payne, can't even remember that guy. Rick Rude and Shanghai Pierce defeated Tex Slazenger, really? Jesus. And Marcus Alexander Bagwell. Road Warrior Hawk and Rip Rogers, that's right, Rip Rogers, that is now all over Twitter, just bashing modern wrestling today, which makes him, of course, one of my heroes. Defeated Davey Boy Smith and Cole. The 16-man battle royal would be out of Vader, Jack, Knobbs, Bad, Shockmaster, Orndorff, King Kong, Dustin Rhodes, Sting, Jerry Saggs, Ric Flair, Steve Austin, Rick Rude, Shanghai Pierce, Road Warrior Hawk, and Rip Rogers. Rip Rogers would eliminate somebody, but that was extent of his involvement. Listen, you got to know that when wrestlers are on Twitter bashing the industry, you kind of got to know where they are on the card, right? I mean, right? You got to kind of... Anyways, this has been your Distracted Hosts throwback for more bullshit this week. Thank you. Let's get back to this week's Nitro, though. December 16, 1996. Right out of the gate, Tony claims that WCW's Nitro is single-handedly making TNA the biggest cable channel in the country. I'm sure that the NBA contract had nothing to do with that, and it's all this 2-hour, once-a-week show pulling a whole channel up. Anyways, the NWO comes out. Well, specifically Eric Bischoff, Vincent, and Ted DiBiase come out to take over the announce position. Larry tells him there's not enough NWO guys to chase him off, but then all it really takes is Vincent, who is the only black man in history who doesn't know how to give a 5. He'll take a 10, though. Eric, what? He will. Eric throws back to last week, and the whole point of the video package was to show the cheap shot from behind. And of course, in the package, it did not. This forced DiBiase to explain that. Good job, production truck. Well done. As a reminder, there is one more week to go from Eric's threat that get your WCW contracts converted from WCW to NWO. But while Eric and Ted DiBiase are unannounced this week, they're going to continue scouting members for the NWO, even though in a week, everyone is supposed to be the NWO. Lord Steven Regal defeats Psychosis to retain the WCW World Television Championship in 11 minutes, 8 seconds to lead off tonight's show with an actual fucking match. Holy shit. It does deserve another ta-da. Do not play the other one. Just stop right there. All right, I gave that 3.5 out of 5. Sullivan, of course, gets his way. We've got a legit wrestling match to start the show off. Bischoff and Ted DiBiase, though, tell us that Sting is full NWO now. Psychosis comes out. His vest is ripped below his left arm. Are you fucking telling me that in a company the size of WCW at this time that there isn't a fucking seamstress backstage that can fix this for him? I mean, Jesus Christ, the indie group I worked for had one and they had 200-person shows. His whole outfit is stained, stretched to shit. I mean, what the fuck is going on? So, of course, your boy had to go and find out. Well, apparently this would happen way too often for his taste. Psychosis, that is. While Psychosis was still wrestling in Mexico, he was also wrestling in the States. And from time to time, his girlfriends, who he would allow to pack his bags, I mean, after it happens once, shame on you for it happening again, but Jesus Christ, it would happen often that they would pack old shitty gear or sweaty gear that hadn't been washed yet for him to go on the road in the States, hoping possibly that he gets all of his American bookings canceled so that he has to stay home. Jesus Christ. William Regal still rocking Helmsley's old robe. That's right, Hunter Hearst Helmsley's old robe, because why not? There's a commercial break here with the NWO theme taking us out. The announcers, unfortunately, spend the entire match talking about the Piper and Hogan heat, and they take brief breaks during this to put over a big move or a pin attempt. But of course, that was mostly Ted DiBiase. Eric was single-minded in trying to get the Piper Hogan thing to generate enough sales for the pay-per-view. Now, it would have been better for the first match of the night to be about wrestling, or perhaps even what's coming up later on in the show tonight, including a new member of the NWO, possibly teasing. I don't know. I guess that's asking a lot. Eric pretends for a second that he's a commentator again, notices that Regal's suplex folded Psychosis up on his shoulder, and he claims that this must have hurt him. Jesus. Later on in the match, when Regal puts on the Regal stretch, Eric forgets to mention that he'd had his shoulder hurt earlier on in the night. So, I mean, no, he doesn't get it to stop. Eric tries to put on a Scottish accent, deriding Piper, despite Piper being fucking Canadian. Regal reverses the Hunacrana attempt, slams Psychosis' face into the fucking mat, and then locks in the Regal stretch for the win, while fucking Eric tries out his British accent now. That's 2 accents, by the way, Scottish and now British. Don't worry, though. It's about to get a lot more offensive.
All right.
Commercial break played out by the NWO music again. Back from break, we get a recap of the previous Rick Steiner-Bubba match that lit this feud between the Sting and the Steiners on fire. Throwing to the next match, Big Bubba Rogers defeated Chavo Guerrero Jr. in 2 minutes, 53 seconds. I gave that one 3.5 out of 5. The Dungeon of Doom hits, but no Jimmy Hart for Big Bubba. Bubba might be older and fatter than he was when he was the big boss man. Kind of saying a lot, but anyways, make no mistake though, he's a fucking worker, and if there was any doubt, this match put that to rest. Despite being half the size, Bubba makes Chavo look great and ends things with the hard time finisher of Big Bubba's, which was a throwback to Big Boss Man, which is basically a sidewalk slam. We get a Valvoline slow-mo replay of the finish here. I'm not sure it really warranted it, but you got to get it in there someplace, I suppose. Pre-match rant promo with Gene leading up to the match afterwards with Sonny Ono and Masahiro Chono. They start with teasing Chono signing with New Japan, which of course he already has been for years. But kayfabe. After a few moments, Chono unzips his jacket to reveal an NWO shirt. Sonny is shocked. Chono barks something at him in Japanese. Gene asks what he said. Sonny repeats it in Japanese, which I thought was a funny and nice spot. Gene admonishes him and he translates it this time. You gotta be more specific there, Gino. Chono tries to rip off the shirt of Sonny Ono, but of course it's not worked, meaning they haven't snipped the collar piece here, which he ends up just jerking Sonny around a little bit and then makes his way down to the ring. This leads into our next match, which is Chris Jericho defeating Masahiro Chono by disqualification. 5 minutes, 49 seconds on that one. I gave that one 3.5 out of 5 as well. Yes, I do give all of these matches 3.5 out of 5. No, of course I don't. Jesus Christ. Shut up. Chono's music hits and then stops and is replaced with the NWO theme. Eric demands that the live cam go catch a guy who wrote NWO on his bald fucking head. Halfway through the match, Eric breaks out in his Japanese fucking accent.
We coming for you, nigga.
And then teases a name change for Chono so that it's easier for him to say. Oh, the 90s. Again, they were just a different fucking time. Eric claims that this move will have shocked New Japan's owner Inoki, much the same as Luger's defection shocked McMahon months and months ago. Then he buries the In Your House pay-per-view live on television, and DiBiase does not put it over. Jericho ties his leg up in the middle and bottom rope, allowing Chono to beat him senseless from the outside of the ring and lead to his disqualification loss. Back from break, again, we throw back to last week's Piper promos to put over the feud because there's no Hogan yet. Because that footage we saw in the last episode was thanks to the network, the footage after it went off the air, Eric gets to bury what actually happened after the show went off the air, which serves him, the NWO, and the entire gimmick well. The fact that that footage is on the network kind of undermines the entirety of the NWO, but I mean, listen, it's Vince's network. What the fuck are you gonna do? After this, we get a Gene rant promo with Flair, Anderson, Mongo, and Deborah McMichael. Fuck's sakes, we're gonna talk about Benoit and Woman again. At least this time it's to further a program. Sullivan and Anderson are actually going to wrestle later tonight, so Anderson puts that over. Flair gets the stick and basically says to ditch Woman. There's plenty of rats in the locker room after all. Deborah starts waving him off. My fuck, who honestly, who in the flying fuck in the back thought it was good to put this nagging... Oh, shit. I think I just figured it out. I'm an idiot. Sullivan. Of course, why wouldn't Sullivan encourage this attention fucking whore to slut shame another woman? He's the booker, right? This whole program is about his wife taking Benoit dick, right? So we're less than a year removed from Deborah taking Austin dick so that she can be a total fucking hypocrite. She'll eventually be caught in 98 when yet another work shoot of her stable of wrestlers turns out not to be about her banging Jeff Jarrett, but instead banging Austin. The whole fiasco gets swept underneath the rug of WCW, making the relationship that would come later between another WWE wrestler in Shawn Michaels and WC talent and Nitro girl Whisper much more interesting for Michaels and Whisper. Bischoff and Russo, by the point Michaels and Whisper get together, were so fucking paranoid that Vince was going to swoop in and steal their talent, even though they've been doing it for years. But anyways, all of this so that I don't have to fucking listen to Deborah, the dying fucking cat, speak again. Honestly, I fast forwarded. I'm sorry. I know, totally unprofessional, but fuck it. I can't handle this fucking bit. I can't handle her voice. I couldn't handle it when she was with Liz and Woman and the girls would cut promos. I couldn't handle it then. I couldn't handle it when she went on to WWF. And of course, Vince loved her because blonde, fake tits. Why wouldn't he love her? I fucking hate Deborah McMichaels. I hate her. She's annoying. She's fucking annoying. So I glossed over everything. I fast forwarded her through her whole thing. Thank fuck. I ended up back on the live feed of the network as Flair's voice gave out and he pushed through the end of the promo. I just sue me, man. I can't handle it. I can't handle her fucking voice. Jesus. If I was married to her, I would have fucking cut my wrists. Dean Malenko, that is not in poor taste. What? Benoit and Nancy have nothing to do with Deborah and Steve McMichael. Oh, okay, they're in the Horsemen together. All right, well, I guess Flair fucking around on every wife he's ever had has something to do with it too? All right then, shut up, producer boy. Dean Malenko defeats David Sammartino to retain the WCW World Cruiserweight Championship in a match after this. 2 minutes, 57 seconds for that one. I gave it 2 out of 5. Yes, that's Bruno's son. No, he does not have the talent of his father. He did, though, win PWI Rookie of the Year in 1981, shortly after he started wrestling. Amusingly enough, he had a huge feud with Larry Zbyszko in the year that he started. Now, who said Vince was the first to have nepotism in wrestling? Zbyszko and Bruno had a huge feud back in the day, so why not let Junior do that too? David spent some time in the WWF in 84 and 85 where Bruno would act as his manager, but Bruno was fired in late 85 for punching a fan who spit on him. Now, in true Carney fashion, Bruno accused Vince of planting the fan to give him an excuse to fire him. Now listen, does Vince need an excuse to fire people? In 1985, perhaps. Nowadays, no, not so much. Would it really surprise me that Vince put somebody in the audience to spit on a wrestler? No, not one little bit would it surprise me. So really, at the end of this day, it's a he said, and really either one of them are fucked, so who really cares? In a reverse, Hogan David then joined the AWA in 86 and then the UWF in 1990. But in WCW, he'd have one match and then go away again until 2000 at the age of 40 when he would win the New York State Wrestling Federation Championship belt. Now, apparently he and Bruno are not talking because David admitted to taking anabolic steroids. The trick, apparently, is not to admit to taking steroids because Bruno fucking loves Kurt Angle and Bruno Sammartino himself. I mean, genetics be genetics, but Jesus, come on. I kind of love fucking Wrestle Logic, though. And David does look pretty good. Short, but good. Let's see if he can actually wrestle. Dean could wrestle with a wet paper bag, so I was actually expecting a decent showing in this match, and I would be sort of let down, actually. Listen, the match itself was actually shaping up to be excellent. There was a lot of reversals and flippy-dippy nonsense, and not flippy-dippy as in off the ropes and shit, but like flipping around the ring and stuff. So it was actually shaping up to be a fairly decent match. But then for some strange reason, there was this weird count pin that even confused the announce team. And then they dumped to break. And then when they came back from break, hour 2 started and it all sort of made sense. Basically, the first match went way too long. So this match had to go short, even though this match could have gone at least 8 minutes. That would have been an entertaining match. It cut 4 minutes off that fucking first match, put it here, and it could have been pretty good. But anyways, it ultimately bombed. I gave it 2 out of 5 because of the fact that it was short and they were really only just getting started. It wasn't really a fast count so much as there was actually a missed count. And for those of you that struggle with counting to 3, when the referee lands on the mat and slaps his hand down, that's not one. Anyways, back from break, Eric and Ted surrender control of the announce position back to Tony. Bobby and Mike join him for hour 2, leading into our first match of hour 2, where Ice Train defeats Jerry Flynn in 3 minutes, 25 seconds. I gave that one 2.5 out of 5. When getting the show notes together today, I thought that this was yet another name for Jerry Lynn. But instead, it's some dude wearing karate pants and a black belt and kick pads. Now, I guess I said that in a disparaging way, judging by the producer's fucking eyebrows disappearing to his hairline. But he's got a sweet mullet. I mean, I thought this would just be another one of Eric's little Karate Kid fantasy booking guys. Flynn used to be a jobber with the WWF until WCW picked him up with the help of Brian Blair, Paul Orndorff, and Mark Starr, who got him a tryout. We'll be seeing more of Mr. Flynn here, by the way, later on tonight, but also in the years to come. This is just a useless piece of trivia, by the way, but Jerry Flynn was trained by Dean Malenko's dad.
You are a big mark.
Yes, thank you. After this, we get a 6 rant promo with the Outsiders. Kevin is asked about his do-rag, which apparently is dope. And then he says something about seeing the Faces of Fear giving each other a poi bath in the back. So, of course, being a fucking nerd, I decided, what the fuck is a poi bath? I want to look it up because, yeah, it's a throwaway line, but I'm curious now. What the fuck is it? And instantly, I fucking regretted it because, Jesus Christ, God, Kevin Nash, you're so fucking edgy back in the 90s. Essentially, it's a Japanese version of a golden shower, except instead of having in a shower, it happens in a tub that has the stopper in. So cool. Jesus. I could have gone the rest of my whole fucking life without knowing that.
You're gonna just kayfabe me all the way to the very end of this thing, aren't you?
After this, I love fucking, I love Abyss. Ooh. Anyways, commercial break, and there's an NWO shirt promo. Thank you. After this, we get Rey Mysterio Jr. defeating Bobby Eaton in 2 minutes, 47 seconds. I gave that one 2.5 out of 5. Rey debuting new gear. Not Spider-Man theme this time, but it does kind of look like Ultraman. Why the fuck do I know these things? Yes, thank you. I deserve that one. Again, we're not calling the match as announcers. We will shoot on Sullivan, though, a bit during the match, as Tony does not want Sullivan to kick his ass when he shows yet another Benoit Nancy cringeworthy fucking promo shot on what can only be a fucking Betamax camcorder. Anyways, Bobby in this match does a decent job of jobbing to Rey, even though Rey's style is clearly not something Bobby Eaton is all that familiar with. That golden voiced bastard Lee Marshall does his 1-800-COLLECT call-in, throws the weasel under the bus with yet another one-off line, and I really, really, really should hate these promos, but Lee Marshall is just so fucking good. After this, we get the Benoit Nancy promo about a gondola ride, which would be, I guess, in Venice, and then seeing the Colosseum, which would be in Rome, and then something about going to the fucking Eiffel Tower. I just, fuck, man. This shit would probably get my grandma pissed off, but mid-90s Dark Fox, I hated them. I still fucking hate them. Yes, I referred to myself in the third person. Fuck off. It's not well done. It's campy. It's the worst fucking aspects of soap operas. It's like Sullivan watched telenovelas and decided to make the goofiest crap and incorporate it into the feud to air his dirty laundry on national television. It's fucking awful. After this, speaking of, Kevin Sullivan with Jimmy Hart defeats Arn Anderson in 3 minutes, 52 seconds. I gave that one 2 out of 5. Sullivan comes out screaming at Tony about showing the tape, which was actually kind of funny. Anderson did work his shirt, so Sullivan manages to tear it open and nail him with a chair without being disqualified. I'm not sure if this match had actually started or if it would actually start. They'll both guys have to be in the ring, and then once they are sort of kind of in their corners, then there should be a bell, right? I mean, fuck it. Kevin Sullivan booking, right? Whatever. Just sit back and watch it and don't think, because that's how Sullivan feels about wrestling fans. Anderson gets tied up in the Tree of Woe. Sullivan gets punched in the dick when he tries to finish it off. Hugh Morris comes out, gets DDT'd. Conan gets nailed. Bubba distracts. Sullivan nails Anderson with a chair and pins him, with Hart waking up the ref just enough to count the 3 count. The match itself was a clusterfuck. But it worked to keep the program going, which I really wish it wouldn't, but it got the job done, which is why it got 2 out of 5. After this, Rick Steiner with Scott Steiner in his corner versus Sting ended in a no contest. I don't really want to rate this one as a match. I really wouldn't give it a 0.0 as a match either, because it serves a purpose. As a promo, I'll give it 3.5 out of 5 though. Rick comes down to ringside with a stiff neck. Scotty Steiner still rehabbing his back surgery. The spotlight and camera find Sting in the rafters. The fans start chanting for him as he walks his way down to the ring. 2 Stings, in fact, come down to the ring. NWO Sting makes it to the ring first. Tony helps us figure out which one's the real Sting, because apparently the real Sting looks a little darker.
We coming for you, nigga.
Oh, you're not. Oh, Jesus. Oh, I don't know what the rules are on Twitch. All right. Sting disarms NWO Sting, whose bat ends up in Scotty's hand. Then Sting throws his bat to Rick. Real Sting spreads his arms and turns his back on the Steiners. So does NWO Sting. But then the real Sting gives the fake Sting Scorpion Death Drop, which is a reverse DDT for you new people. The crowd pops, Rick tosses the real Sting, his bat back, and he leaves the arena back through the fans. We got a commercial break here with a Starrcade promo. Back from break, we get a Hogan promo with Giant, Vincent, DiBiase, and Liz. I do like Liz's dress. I mean, the cleavage is fantastic. But anyways, Hogan starts by telling people that the people that are in Pensacola, that this is where he started. And then in the very next sentence, he takes a shot at Piper for telling people of Charlotte last week that that's where he started. This is why Vince didn't let Hogan do his own fucking promos. There's no way Hogan's going to make the same mistake by booking himself in the same promo as Piper again. So instead, he's going to fucking shoot himself in the foot. Like, Piper's not even there to fuck up Hogan's promo. He's just doing it on his own. Heenan, though, does take a funny shot at Hogan at the end of the whole promo, calling him Thunderlips. Now, for those of you confused at home, this is a scene from Rocky III. This is when Hogan, as Thunderlips, gets ready to be in a display match, I guess, for lack of a better term, with Rocky Balboa, of course, played by Sylvester Stallone. Now, Rocky, the character, thought it was a shoot match. Hogan's character, Thunderlips, knew that it was a work match. If you go and watch the movie, you'll see that all played out. Now, I swear to God, the mouse is not on her butt on purpose. It just wants to go there. Anyways, it's a fairly interesting look at pro wrestling from 1982. Let's listen to Hogan's promo. Excuse me, Thunderlips promo.
To all my love slaves out there, Thunderlips is here. In the flesh, baby.
Oh my God.
The Finn baby. Jesus Christ. I wonder if this is where Adam Cole got it. Just a terrible baby. Anyways.
The ultimate male versus the ultimate meatball. Boy, he is a...
I always love those heel things. Anyways, so that is Thunderlips from Rocky III. Listen, it's a good movie. Mr. T plays a bad guy in it that Rocky's got to overcome. Listen, it's a fucking Rocky movie. What the fuck do you want? Anyways. Now, allegedly, Hogan didn't have Vince Sr.'s permission to be in this movie, and he got fired for it in 1981. He was eventually, or 1980? I can't remember. Anyways, he eventually was brought back by Vince Jr. when he took over, but apparently that there was a problem here with Hogan playing Thunderlips in a movie. I would imagine mostly because of how it exposes the business, not because of the match itself. The match itself absolutely protects kayfabe all the way. It's what happens after the match is done. Thunderlips taking pictures with Rock and Adrian and their kid, and oh Jesus, it totally exposes the business, but in the best possible fucking way in 1980 goddamn too. All right, the main event of the night is the Faces of Fear, Meng and Barbarian with Jimmy Hart in their corner versus the Outsiders, of course, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall. This ends in a no contest. I gave it 2 out of 5. Now, there's a smodge. Smodge. Is that what I'm trying to say? There's a fucking clusterfuck to start the match. Bubba comes out, nails Ming, turning to the NWO officially. Sullivan comes down, followed by Morris and Conan. Eventually, Giant, Wall Street, Bagwell, and Six come out. And then I lose track of who the fuck else comes out until Ice Train comes out. He gets dropped by Norton, who is also NWO, though not wearing a t-shirt. Sting comes down the ramp, climbs into the ring. Anderson grabs Sting, who then punches him. Then Mongo wails on him a bit. Sting nails him. Mysterio jumps on his back. Sting flips him off, and then he leaves. Tony quips that maybe he is NWO. Or maybe the WCW roster shouldn't be attacking somebody when they don't know where his allegiances lie. Just a fucking thought. Have we not been down this fucking road before this year? The thing is, though, that this really helps Sting's gimmick going forward, and the cameras fade to black on Sting leaving the arena. Overall, Nitro was decent. The announcers all spent too much time talking about the Piper Hogan match. Then there's the whole card they needed to sell. The Sting stuff is okay. It still seems like they don't know what to do with the character. Some of it, like the Steiner stuff, is good, bordering on excellent. The heat with WCW locker rooms is kind of clumsy. The NWO wooing Sting gimmick is also good. The show was shaping up to be excellent, but the last 2 matches effectively had the same goddamn ending. Hogan running his mouth for too long between them wouldn't have made the audience at home or in the arena forget that. Sting's appearance did get an excellent pop, and then they left fans wondering why WCW wrestlers would attack him since he had just laid out NWO Sting earlier on in the night. It's all very soap opera, and it needs to be cleaned up before the heat is off of Sting. There will come a point when people just won't fucking care, and they need to figure out what the hell they're doing with Sting before that happens. I'm giving this one 3.5 out of 5 for Nitro. This would be nice, though, if Sullivan, Bischoff, and fucking Hogan could get on the same page with the goddamn book so that they stop feeling like 3 shows are going on at the same goddamn time.
Well, that was an abortion of a show. Should the mood take you, check out markoutradio.com and leave a comment. You can also find links there to our Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Stitcher channels. You can even leave a voicemail on our Skype. Just click the links and share them.